of a sudden, I found myself in love with the whirl. So there was only one thing that I could do, was ding-a-ding-dang, my dang-along-ling-long.
Severn.com.
It'll go there.
Yep, it'll be there, and because I will be talking about that. Because the thing is, because a lot of people, they're amazed at the things that I have done and continue to do. Because when you look at, as we talked about mixed martial arts, and we talked about the professional wrestling, you talk about the amateur wrestling. You got to realize I've been competing since 1969 in actual amateur wrestling. So to say that I've got 3,500, 4,500 amateur wrestling matches alone is probably an understatement. Because I've traveled, I compete. I've done as many as 17 matches in one day. And if you think about if I've done this year in, year out, I'm picking up 50 matches during the normal season. I pick up another 100 matches in the off season. How many? I never kept track of all that stuff. But if you were walking in, say, my training facility, I didn't do this, but 2 or 3 of my guys simply just rated my stuff, and they put up all these trophies and medals and stuff like that. It's kind of like pretty it's pretty interesting. My training facility could actually pass as a museum as well.
So, well, your official record's in the hundreds.
For
I don't want to say
for just mixed martial arts.
Right.
Yeah, just for
I
mixed
don't
martial
want
arts.
to say to 3 because you're going to want to go after those 3 guys.
Well, no, I mean it's but I made that no secret. I mean it's I always tell I'm not a good politician. If people ask my opinion, I may sometimes just say, well, I'd rather just plead the fifth as opposed to say what's on my mind. But people already know this. Well, may not be able to know positive of comments there, but even my enemies at least respect what comes out of my mouth because whatever I say, it's the truth. I'm not going to lie to you because if I lied to you the first time, I'm going to have to tell another half a dozen lies to cover that first one. I've got too much going on in my life, and I'm not that sharp. So I'd rather just hurt your feelings, and we're just going to move forward.
So what are you saying? I'm trying to hurt my feelings. Come on. No, that's very interesting. So how actively involved are you going to continue to be in that business?
Oh, the CBD industry? Yeah. Oh, I'm just starting. Oh,
are you gonna shift? I mean, you only have let's call it 100% of time. We all have 150% of time.
Yeah.
How much of your time you think you put into it?
Well, it's literally I'm gonna blend my lives here once again. I'm gonna be on the road quite a bit.
Yep.
I'm still going to be doing all the traveling and training. But then when people, the thing is, I'm a 60-year-old guy. And when they see me out on the mats and they realize that I'm doing way more than what they could ever even think of doing, and they're like, dude, how are you doing it? Well, I can't say it's because, what the CBD has done for me, but at the same token, I know what I used to be able to do.
No.
And, the thing about, as one grows older, it's coming to grips mentally to realize that with each year, I have to settle for less. Because there was that time when you went in the weight room and you went to that squat rack and you'd have 505 on there and you had to put collars on that because once you lift that bar up and you stepped away, that whole bar is just simply flexing over your shoulders. That was cool. Now I sit down in a seated leg press because it supports my back a whole lot nicer than risking squatting down and maybe not being able to come right back up anymore. So it's kind of like I'm changing.
You have to roll off of it and be on YouTube.
Yes.
There's Darren Severn trying to roll away from his bench press.
Don't say that.
That happens to everybody. I've stuck myself under a few hundred pounds and had to roll it off in the basement. Nobody sees it, though.
Everyone's been there. I mean, I've been there before as well. So it's that's the hard part about, I'll say, the aging factor. But at the same token, I simply look at it. I'm only in competition with myself. The reality of it all. So I like the variety. I like the fact that I'm going to be helping a lot of people, and I'm going to be educating a lot of people. The ring name The Beast has a lot of negative connotations. I always tell people I did not make up that ring name. It was bestowed upon me by the legendary NFL football player, Jim Brown.
Oh, did you do that?
Yes, he was actually one of the play-by-play commentators for several of the UFC shows.
That's right. He
Yes.
was.
'Cause they wanted a tough guy there being there. And in his words, he says, Dad, he goes, I didn't think that much about you when you first showed up because out of all the fighters, I'm the only guy that showed up wearing a sports jacket and a tie, and I'm wearing my glasses. And he literally, everyone thought I was, because UFC 4 was the first one I showed up to. Everyone thought Al Snow was the fighter, and I was his manager until the Friday night. Now I'm sitting up at the podium with the 7 other fighters, and they're all sitting out in there, and they're like going, "What's up with this?" And then, like I said, Jim just said, you're rather soft spoken. He goes, I can tell you're an educated man, and he goes, I just thought, oh, this guy's about to get toasted through. He goes, but he goes, when you walked in that cage, he goes, you said you turned down something. He goes, I have never seen before. He goes, how do you do that? And I'm thinking, Jim Brown is going to ask me a question like that. That kind of got a little giddy there because he was.
He was Jim Brown.
Again, I watched him when I was in high school. Right. He was most impressive running back in the industry.
Yeah, he's an impressive guy. Is he still around?
Yes. Yeah, no, he's still around.
Yeah,
Actually,
I think does he comment?
I encountered him once again for the movie Rudy. He was actually one of the football coaches there for the movie Rudy. He was down there for giving Impact.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
So for about three or so months, I was practically living down in South Bend, Indiana, while shooting all these practice scenes, and so I got to be in the movie Rudy.
Were you in Rudy? I was in Office Space, according to last week. They filmed it across the street. I think I was in it. Just didn't actually have a part. That was a Notre Dame movie, wasn't it?
Yes.
Rudy.
That was actually based upon
true story about Notre Dame.
Yep, Rudy Rudiger was the name of the football player that they were talking about, and this
small guy.
It just showed where again perseverance. He just would not. He went out, everyone else would tell him, no, you'll never make it. And he still went against all the odds, including his father. His father had no faith in him, but when he actually finally made it, just Dad was there.
Well, the movie was very telling. He was a small. Just for your, have you ever seen Rudy?
I have not.
No, he was a small guy. He was a small guy, basically.
Yeah.
5 something. You'll never make it in football because you're only this big and you're only this big, so on and so forth. And the idea of the story is just that through perseverance and hard work and so on and so forth, you can pretty much accomplish whatever you want to within the confines of the skill sets that you have. Meaning, I can't draw a stick figure no matter what. No matter how many art classes I take.
Well, Brittany, you've been quite over here. Do you have any questions? I mean, it's kind of like we've got the male perspective right now.
Sure.
It's kind of like
because I'm the host of the
sure.
show. But nonetheless, go ahead.
But even for mixed martial arts, it was all males in the beginning up until again into the middle 2005, 6.
Ronda Rousey.
Yep.
Cyborg.
Right?
Is that a guy or a girl?
No,
it's
she's
a girl.
She's a girl.
Well, professional, it's a guy, but the world is girl.
She probably kicked my ass too. I should be quiet. All right.
So I do have a question. I heard you have never been in an actual fight, a street fight.
Correct.
Why?
Why?
You're like egging him on right now.
Well, I don't want to get hurt first off, okay?
No.
But no, I don't put myself in those kind of situations. I mean, ironically, I've been closer to getting into a real fight, and I'll say the last 20-some years of my life than I was in the previous 20-some years. Well, only because I did a number of appearances at sports bars, and I started realizing the later you go into the evening,
the more people want to fight with you.
Well, the more partaking of beverages, let's put it that way, is what took place. So they get a little bit bolder, brasher, like going, well, I thought you'd be bigger. Or is like going, you're right like a girl. I go, and I'm like, is that because you can actually read it? I mean, so lots of guys' handwriting is pretty bad, but a lot of people they say I always tell I have a degree from Arizona State. I actually can read and write and do some arithmetic there. But it's no, there's no one wins in a fight anymore. But also the era of any integrity of a fight. There would be a point in time that if you had a disagreement, you step outside, you thump each other a few times, you go back in the bar, you have a beer, it's done.
Yeah.
Not in today's world.
No.
Today's world, it's kind of like, if you get the best of me, now I'm either going to go get my gun or I'm going to go get someone who's bigger and badder than what
That's
you
not
are.
a real fight.
I know it isn't, but it's that's the world. The world we live in now is kind of like going, I don't know what you have in your pockets.
Mm-hmm.
And there's and everyone and there's equalizers, all kinds of little small gadgetry anymore that's available. I talk about it a lot of times for females as a self-defense mechanism. So,
Mm-hmm. That's great. That's great.
because I do women's self-defense classes
Oh, you do?
as well.
So where can we find you?
Well,
Us women.
DanSevern.com.
Okay. I'm going to look you up.
SEVERN for those who can't.
Can't spell.
Well, no, I
Okay.
mean it's kind of a
That's a
you know,
little.
I used to a lot of people they would when they first announced it, it would be like from Johnny Carson. It was like Doc Severson. It's Dan Severson over there. You know that they'd always be saying. So I always just say I used to always spell it for them real quick. You know, DanSevern.com. Severn is spelled SEVERN like Nancy.
What else are you involved in? Anything else? I mean, you got like.
I've got all kinds of stuff going. I mean, honestly,
got a lot
I mean,
going
I actually enjoy doing stuff like woodworking and stuff like that.
Do.
I just haven't had a chance to do it in quite some time.
Can you build me a kitchen table? 'Cause I need.
Could I? Yes, I can.
You could.
Butcher block.
But I
Will
won't.
be.
My mother would say, "Don't say could, say will you," and then he'd go, "No, I don't have time for that."
He's
Well,
a busy
but
guy.
those are things that I plan on doing later on in life, re-engaging once again. If you saw my property in Corner, Michigan, you see how methodically it's laid out. I have a small orchard. I have a small grape arbor. Now I'm looking at getting a beehive put in because I want to have better production yield off of grapes and fruit and things of that nature. But then also byproduct is honey. Honey's good for the body there as well.
Honey and wine.
Yeah, do you make wine? Do you,
Well, no, not
do you
yet.
want
so,
to?
I'm not sure. Growing up as a kid, I used to. My grandmother would have me going out and digging up dandelion roots and stuff like that. And
Oh.
Grandma was making dandelion wine.
Oh,
So-
interesting.
Yes.
How does that taste?
Well, again, I was a kid. I was a kid at that point. I was basically just a manual laborer. She was the one that was being the mad scientist. But at the same token, my grandparents probably ran a still at one point in time as well.
Yeah.
Through depression and things of those things.
You've tasted a dandelion. It tastes horrible.
Well, I'm just thinking wine, self-defense with Dan Severn. What could get better?
Wine, self-defense, honey.
Honey, yeah. Give me some cheese and crackers. We're all good.
No fighting. No, I didn't say no arguing.
I'm not a very good debater. Again, the better half destroys me.
What's one of your? I don't want to call it dirty secrets, but
Oh,
no, hold on a second. What do you call them? I'm blanking as usual.
Guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasures.
Guilty
I-
pleasure.
I'll give you one of mine just so you don't feel too out
Okay.
of turn.
Oh, I know this.
What, Kelly Clarkson?
I was gonna say TLC.
Not the entire channel.
No, 90 Day Fiance.
I can't watch that.
You love that show.
see again,
No.
and I don't even know what you guys are talking about right now.
No.
Guilty pleasures, things that you wouldn't generally want to admit to people. But,
Well,
what's your favorite TV show?
I've got a big weakness for ice cream. I mean, that's one of
Ice
those things.
cream.
Right there, but I don't need to have any kind of exotic flavor or something like this. Throw a big scoop of peanut butter on straight over vanilla. I'm good to go with something like that.
Oh, there you go.
I am a bit of a peanut butter freak.
Who's your well, then I'll just go the other way. Oh, do you like peanut butter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love peanut butter. I
Well,
like
it's good for you, though,
Peanut
too.
butter cookies. Well, they have a lot of protein and
Yeah. I mean, it's literally. I mean, I
a lot
have
of sugar too.
different people that they come over and they watch what I eat and stuff like that. They're like going, "What do you eat?" And I go, "It's called a concoction." Well, what do you mean? I go, let me just put it to you like this way. You're doing one of two things. You're either going to eat to live, or are you going to live to eat? I know what I'm looking to do. I made certain changes in my life. As a freshman in college, I took my very first to the nutrition class. That's the word I was looking for. And I started realizing, wow, I need to change some of the things because of the way I was consuming a lot of products that were probably not that good for you. So I've just changed so that
So clearly the answer is live to eat.
Yeah. Yes.
Eat.
Oh no. Yeah.
I was just
No,
saying, if
if-
you're paying
No,
attention.
if you saw, yeah, like this past weekend, because I would travel with certain things with me, but it's easy stuff that doesn't require refrigeration, stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I eat almost like the same breakfast practically every day.
2 egg whites. You like Rocky?
Yeah, no, it'll
Rocky
be
Balboa.
oatmeal.
Oatmeal.
Yeah.
From McDonald's is good.
Oatmeal with raisins in it and peanut butter and cinnamon and
You can get
coconut
that,
flakes.
You can get that at
and
McDonald's. It's probably not the same quality.
No.
walnuts
no.
and almonds in it. But these are all things that are
It's
good,
on the dollar
good,
menu.
good for your heart and stuff like
It
that.
tastes good. I don't know if I'm living to eat or eating to live yet. I still haven't figured that out.
Yeah, but I do enjoy it. I mean, it's just kind of like, I'm not going to be, that way all the time. I let my hair down and, I'll enjoy it.
Clearly, you're letting it down. Get you by the ponytail and start wrestling, right? So, do you like Celine Dion the way she sings?
What's that?
Celine Dion.
Oh, I know. Okay.
Do you like the way she sings?
I enjoy her music. Yeah,
Or she
she could definitely hit some high notes. Well, again, I don't know the woman on a personal basis.
No, I'm talking about her
It's kinda-
singing.
No,
This is
no.
odd. This is an odd
Where is
question.
this going?
It's odd questions. 2 minutes.
I kind of thought maybe we're looking at America's Got Talent, and we're looking into like different types of. I would never be, for example.
People are usually binary about her. Like I like her singing, or I just can't stand it. It's just I like the way she sings.
Yeah,
But if I get caught with it in the car, if people like pull up next to me, I turn it down.
you don't think it's masculine of you to be listening to Dion?
He sings along. That's the problem.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, like the Titanic,
Was like that-
like the Titanic song, or whatever. There's a couple songs that get me like that, where I'll start,
Tearing up.
Sing a bar, please.
sing. Ooh. I don't know.
Thank
who
you,
you're talking
Jess.
about. I don't know who you're talking
I
about.
said sing a bar of the song.
Sing a Barb song.
Bar.
Bar.
Sing a bar from the song.
My heart will go
Like,
on.
yeah.
Oh, my heart will go. I'm gonna sing that. Are you crazy?
Can.
No, Celine Dion. So it's kind of a in between. What's your favorite show? You don't watch much TV, do you?
No,
But if you had to,
but when I'm watching television, it's usually whatever, it'll be watching like America's Got Talent,
You like
and
that?
The Voice is again. I don't have control of the remote control though. You realize this? It's whatever the better half is watching. I'll watch it.
The Voice.
Yeah, those two. It's like it's kind of. I'll watch it, but she'll know that when I'm bored is because I'll get up and I'll go over to my office. I'll start working on.
Something else.
But then she was like, "Okay, I'll switch."
That's
I
because
just- 'cause I mean-
those are competitive shows.
No, not. To me, it's like no. She'll switch to something else altogether for so that I'll sit in there with her because I just
I
don't.
see.
I just don't watch a lot of television. It's my days are just kind of. I'm very goal orientated, and then there's certain things that I have on my goals right now that I'm like a pet bull. I literally. What I would do for driving, what I do for lack of sleep, stuff like this, not many people can do. It's like the gentlemen that are around me, they're like going, dude, how can you do this? How can you go that many days without sleep? Or the fact that you're only riding on 2 hours of sleep here and 3 hours of sleep there.
You like it that way?
It's
Every now and then do you crash?
I'm a driven. No, it's no. That's not my game plan. 125 is what I'm banking for. You smile and stuff like this, but it's got to go. And someone's got to do it.
No,
That's how I look at all this.
Listen, I'm all for Go, it looks like we have plenty of non-goal oriented.
No,
people
that
around
see,
us.
and I would disagree in the terms that I'm around thousands of people all the time, and them lips they be moving up and down all the time. There, people like to talk. Half the time, I just want to reach over and go, "Shut up." You're wasting my air. Nike should have been all over me decades ago because I don't talk about it. I just do it.
Just do it.
Yes.
Bo Jackson. No, he had. What's Bo Jackson saying?
I don't know. I just
Bo knows.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about? Just do it,
Yeah, that's good.
He knows. Yeah.
That's what. Well, literally, if you walked out my vehicle, you'll see my planner is laying out there right now because I was knocking off phone call after phone call. I got my little headset.
I know every time I talk to you, you're on your headset.
Well, no, actually, the headset was just something brand new within the last 3 months. Before it was, squishing the shoulder up to the head, having the planner right there, trying to write, got the knee up on the wheel of the steering wheel.
Yeah, that's
I'm probably everyone's nightmare driving down the road, but just kind of going, I only do certain things when I know I'm out on the road stretch on my own. If I'm in heavy traffic, I'm very aware. Now I'll still be on a headset talking to someone, but hands are on the wheel.
So do you think you'll fight again?
No, I doubt if that'll happen. I might do a couple submission grapple matches. I think that'll be the highlight of any real competition left for me. Maybe down the road it might be full contact shuffleboard, stuff like that. Maybe jump into
Full contact shuffleboard.
Shuffleboard, yes.
Where you go you get to tackle people.
Something like that.
That would be fun.
Or maybe I might enter curling. Yeah, I
Full contact.
I hear it.
Full contact curling.
To where at least trash talking with the curling, because I think that could make that a whole lot more interesting if the trash curl.
If they trash talk, like get Conor McGregor or somebody like that
I
in
don't
there
think
and
Canadians
trash talk.
do that. They just apologize to one another, right? They don't trash
I don't
talk
think they
one
trash
another.
talk too much. Yeah, they're just like, oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I just did
sorry.
like a French accent. I can't. I'm like the not accent guy.
So, Dan, what is next?
Well, next. Well, maybe I can tell you right now. I mean, I'll be on the road a great deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be. I'm very systematically the state. Well, by this coming by tomorrow night, I'll be running 2 different classes. Actually, I have one other instructor that'll be with me, but I'll be running 2 classes tomorrow night. And my goal is to try to be on the road by. I was hoping to be going out the road by last night, but I think I have to stick around because I have something taking place in Chicago.
Oh, nice.
But that's simply just that got materializing throughout the course of the day today. So I'll stick around for maybe a couple more days before, because once I get out to Arizona/California, I will be spending probably at least 3 weeks in that area, because I'm going to be attacking the cannabis-based CBD, so that's got to stay inside the state of California. So I'll be staying there, but then I'll be starting to hit some of the other border states, because we have a manufacturing facility that produces both CBD and hemp-based CBD. So we have California, and then we have, well, I can't say the rest of the United States because I think there's still 4 or 5 states that
right.
have the big no.
How do people how do people get involved with you, or can they, outside of the CBD US? So that's going to be on your
there's
for now. That'll be on your website,
Yeah.
dansevern.com.
Yeah, dansevern.com. I mean, if they go there, I mean, that's ways of trying to communicate with me if they want to learn more about what we have going on. Like I said, I'm dealing with 4 other very professional individuals and myself that we're all doing it for the right reason. It wasn't the money wasn't the factor, but this is when you look at it, it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry. It's people are big pharmaceutical companies will get into this eventually. There's just no 2 ways about it. More and more companies are going to be looking at the real attributes. More and more studies will be taking place. It's going to be used more and more in the medical. It's a lot of good things are going to happen, and I think that we're going to be, the fact that these other gentlemen, myself, are with me. We're going to be leading all through the process of educating people. So make an educated decision, not just going by just hearsay. Read all these different documentations.
Yeah, absolutely. Are people able to take a they could take a wrestling class down in your camp in Coldwater.
Well, I mean, go down there. I mean, I don't. I'll let like kids come in and stuff like that as long as mom and dad are there. Because anymore, they all have to have liability